Hey guys, Wes here and your co-host Sergio Covarrubias with the Fast Track Podcast. Today we are going to be talking about mindset, which I think is a really important thing that's helped both me and you this year with what we did. Yep. I guess we can start talking about what the year that we're in. We're in 2025 and what happened in 2024. You want to start off with that?
Yeah, so we did a lot of like personal growth and everything in this year. So Wes and I first started going with Andy Elliott and the Elliott Group to do more sales training and more growing off of us and more of our personal brands and everything. Yep. So that was a really big thing for us. And again, we wanted to just start branching off into new things that we wanted to do. So that's why the podcast to us is really important, that we just want to branch off to things. We started more than anything, like what we said before in the last episode, we've been doing this for 5-6 years. So it's already been, we want to be starting to grow different things. We've been doing good on Facebook, but that's going to be another episode. But this time, what we want to talk about a lot, it's going to be mindset.
I think that's something that we really learned in terms of mindset. I want to start talking about what we did last year. I'm super proud of those numbers. For you guys that know, obviously we work at Rio Motors. We sell vehicles. That's what we do for a living. And
use vehicles more than anything, which is the important thing that we
last year we did amazing numbers for sure. What did you do?
I personally did 155 in 2023, and in 2024 I did 259 cars. So that's a 67% increase.
A lot of increase. I think mine, if I'm not mistaken, in 2023 was 189 that I remember, but this year I did 315.
Yep.
Which was a little bit actually less percentage I think than you are. I think I'm like right at 65% increase. But still amazing nonetheless. I mean 65% increase. And you know, a lot of people have asked me, which kind of inspired this episode, but what do I think like happened to see a 65% increase? Obviously that's not typical by any means. And my number one answer is mindset, which is what inspired the episode to talk about. So mindset is one of those things that like really transforms what you think and what you do. I think one of the most important things for me and you is we spent years blaming the dealership, blaming where we were at, blaming our management, blaming everybody but ourselves on why we couldn't achieve our goals. You know, we wanted these big things. We wanted the house. We wanted the cars. We wanted everything, but we couldn't quite, you know, understand why nothing was happening. So literally our days involved, you know, mind games with ourselves saying that we could not do this. Like, we can't do this. We can't do this.
But
this
then
is
you
not
were
possible.
saying, you were saying you couldn't do this because of this person or that person, or if I can't do it without them, then that's what the bad thing is. That you're just blaming on everybody else but yourself. Because if you just look at yourself and say, what am I doing wrong, or what can I do out of this differently, then that's what things actually start turning, and that's what happened to both of us. Again, at the end of the day, it is only you.
1,000%. I mean, that is a beautiful point, but like, it is only you. You can control everything. What you do, what you feel, what your mind is doing is everything. I think for me, you know, the mindset switch was one of the biggest thing. You know, going back to the Andy Elliott thing, one of the biggest things that I would say, like, if you're having mindset issues per se, like, buy the mindset course. That really like, when I heard that course, it was like someone was talking to me directly, because if you're in sales, if you're in some sort of, you know, business to where it involves, you know, a lot of pressure, a lot of stress, a lot of responsibility, you get looked by other people that aren't doing it, that don't understand, for a lot of different reasons. You get looked down on. And that's what it feels like a lot, you know, a lot of times for me, it was like, why are you doing this? Why are you putting these hours? Why are you doing this? That even from family, you know, even
that was a really big thing.
You know, like,
why are you working these hours? Why are you coming home at 7-8 o'clock at night?
You don't understand, you know, and that mindset course really like spoke to me directly on like, this is why you do this, you know, and that transformed everything for me. Being able to believe in myself really is what changed it, and accept realities too. I think that's really important. Like, for example, you know, you need to accept the reality that you're lazy. Even today, you know, I was lazy today. You know, like it happens. It happens to everybody. I don't care who you are, what you're doing. It happens to everybody. But the biggest part is being able to self-correct.
Yeah, it's
You know,
self-correct.
yeah, being able to acknowledge that,
Yeah.
and that's where mindset comes in.
Yeah, because like for me, we were talking a little bit about this before of like
Mhm.
what do we want to talk about on this? And like for me is that you could always be doing something. You could always be doing a video. You can always be doing pictures, and you have to those times do happen where anybody's like you are getting lazy. You're looking at your phone, looking at something that's not anything to do with the day. You just got to snap yourself out of it and say, I can do this video. I can do this. I can do that. So that was like a big thing about for me.
Yeah.
Like I started pushing a lot on Marketplace, where we both have, but
Yeah.
then just realizing like, dude, why isn't everything on Marketplace? Why don't we have every single car on there? Like, why don't you have every single thing on your Facebook and the company's Facebook? You can always be doing something.
And
Something that's
without the
always,
mindset,
yeah.
you're like not even gonna be able to like get there on
Yeah,
that, I
so
feel like.
the biggest thing about like the Andy thing is that it started with the mindset course. So that was the first thing. They did not teach you about sales or anything. Like the first anything
Mhm.
was not of how to sell a car at all.
Yeah.
Doesn't know how to talk about it to a customer. It's literally about you, about like what you think about yourself, or how does any like you know what I mean? How to treat yourself at the end of the day,
Yeah.
and that's only going to involve into more sales.
Yeah. The
Yeah.
mindset thing was a very powerful
Mhm.
thing. It's what your mind can see. Like one of the things that really helped me this year at least achieve my income goals. I mean, I crushed my income goal. It was literally I think May, and
Mhm.
I had literally already reached my income goal that I never thought I was even going to reach at the time.
Mhm.
You know, and one of the things that really helped me was like, and that Andy taught me right in that course was being able to like write it all down. So, you know, when you start thinking about like sales, car sales.
Mhm.
So like the average salesman selling 10 to 15, maybe 15 if they're good, right?
Mhm.
With pretty much no effort, they're expecting lot ups every
Yeah.
day. Hopefully they have good management, which are giving them lot ups. And all they want to do is not make any calls. They want to show up on the lot. There's someone to be there, sell them a car and make some money. I mean, what a messed up way to look
Mhm.
at it. But one of the things that helped me was like, I wrote it down. I was like, well, if I sell 15 cars, I'm going to make X amount of money. I sold 20 cars,
Mhm.
five more,
You make X more.
X amount more.
Mhm.
Whoa, whoa, whoa. What happens if I sell 10 more? What happens if I sell
15 more.
15 more? You know, what happens if I sell 30 more? And these big goals, like one of the things that Andy says, which for full reference is it's a big number. I've never achieved anything close to that, but you know, he always says like, if you don't believe you can make $300,000, like you need to change your
Mhm.
mind. You know, he just starts
Mhm.
yelling about that. And you know, he got me and I got me to a point where like I do believe that I can make that.
Mhm.
Why? Because I make X amount of money per car, you know,
Mhm.
so I need to sell this amount of cars to make this amount of money. It's super simple math.
Mhm.
And then that big goal just becomes something smaller to where you're like, whoa, 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 whoa. So all I need to sell is one car a day, 2 cars a day, 3 cars a day. Well, how many hours are in one day? How
Mhm.
many hours am I working? And it goes right back to what you're saying, which is there's always somebody to
Mhm.
call. There's always somebody to be working on. There's
Yeah.
always a deal. It's just a matter if you have the correct mindset in order to do it.
Yeah. Because then again,
And
you have to put that much more work into it. Because you can't just go in like you said about any other places or anything. Like you can't just go in expecting you're going to sell a car every single day,
yeah,
and then just sit back and relax. Heck,
it's not
no.
gonna happen.
You got to go in there. You got to do X amount of videos. You got to do X amount of posts.
Absolutely.
You got to reach out into different things that you didn't think that you before. That like, hey, this is how I'm going to sell this car, and then that's only going to reflect more.
And we always talk
Um,
about this when it's slow at the dealership is what we do now is what's going to reflect
in 2 weeks.
in 2 weeks.
Mhm.
And it's always that case.
Yeah.
You have a slow week, so you put in insane amount of
Yeah.
effort, and next thing you know, you're out of that
Mhm.
because of the effort that you put in. You know, and a question I had for you is like, what would you say would be the like in terms of mindset and what you were able to do last year, which is amazing, 67% increase. But like, what would you say is the one thing that like really helped you like achieve that big of a goal?
So for me, it's really going to be snapping out of like whatever you're doing is like if you're going slow or anything, you got to make sure to
Mhm.
correct that immediately. So be like if you're going on Instagram and stuff like that, stop doing it. Like
Yep.
literally, sometimes some people would be like, oh, it's 5 o'clock, I'm gonna be oh, we're going home, so you don't want to do anything.
Yep.
No, you have an hour left. Go do more videos.
Absolutely.
So again, you can always be doing something. That's for me what changed everything was like you got to be doing something. Oh, Wes is selling a car, sold 2 cars that day. Great. What can I do to sell this amount more? You know what I mean? How many more videos can I do this day just so I can sell more? You always just have to be outworking yourself every single day. That's what I think I did more than anything. Yeah. Just outwork yourself and like,
yeah. And just to add, so everybody knows, like, we are not perfect, but I feel like these conversations are what gets us even better. We have these conversations. This gives us motivation to be that, but being able to know that, being able to recognize that is a really big part of that is, you know, if you have the correct mindset, you can really like say like, I did this wrong. You know, how do I make that better? I mean, we do that with each other. Like sometimes a customer, you know, we don't sell every customer. We'll have a customer leave and we'll sit down with each other and we're like, well, we did this. How could I have done this? Well, it turns out, you know, we didn't do this on a test drive, or, you know, we didn't even test drive, you know, like whatever it is, but being able to realize that way you're not making the same mistakes again and again is a really big part of it.
Yeah. And then the biggest thing is like, again, it's like you and I were the only salesmen there, but like being able to work off of each other is the biggest thing that we learned.
Find
is
yourself
like,
an asset.
Yeah,
right? Find
exactly.
Yourself you can work
so
with.
like us, we sit down and we're like, hey, what did I do? And then, or Wes might ask like, what did I do? And I'm like, do this. There's been things where I literally hear him saying something. I'm like, dude, do this real quick. And then, you know what I mean? It helps.
Even with a customer, even like, so like, absolutely. That is such a powerful thing in business is if you don't like stop trying to keep everything to yourself, you know, some things I get it, but a lot of things, you know, you should be helping other people because those other people are going to help you. What that means is if you have a customer and you're losing the customer and you're not thinking straight for some reason, you know, probably because you're frustrated, you've already spent hours with this customer. And I know how to fix that. Like, send me a text message. We're in a world where like we're all connected. Like I'll send you a text message on your computer. Hey, show him the Impreza, you know, show him this car. And that absolutely helps. To go back to the initial question, which what is one of the things that like really helped me, I would say consistency was one of the really things that I don't think anybody can beat me on, you know, I'm sure it's somebody out there, but like a lot of people can't beat me on the consistency. Like I consistently, you know, go to the gym. I consistently, you know, go for a run. I consistently, you know, make Facebook posts. I consistently am on Marketplace. I'm so consistent. Oh, hit the mic, but I'm so consistent on like everything I do. And that is really what I have been able like to really attest to. Like that's really helped me is like, no matter if it's slow or no matter if it's busy, the things that I know work typically are the things that I do no matter what. Like I'm so consistent on the things that work. And that's one of those things that like, for a lot of people, you know, you really need to figure out, especially in a sales environment. Like for example, something that me and you did before everything was like, we had posted, you know, maybe 5 Facebook videos. Oh, it doesn't work. It doesn't work. You didn't even give it a try.
We were doing that about Marketplace.
Yeah, we were doing it about Marketplace. We wouldn't post anything on Marketplace. It doesn't work. It doesn't work. It doesn't work unless you're doing so much of it, you know. And that's
what consistent with it.
Consistent with it. Yeah, that's what people don't realize.
You can't just put one car and say, "Oh, I didn't sell it."
A salesman will make one video, will make one post a week, you know, about their dealership, and expect their friends and family to go to them. Like, absolutely not. My Facebook gathering, they're consistently seeing me every single morning. They're seeing a post or a story or my face somehow, somewhere. It does not matter. Even on Sundays, I'm posting, whether it's a picture of my car, a picture of my beautiful daughters, whatever it is, I'm posting something. That way they cannot get away from Wesley Vasquez Tell, whether it's personal or whether it is business. I'm in their face. That way, when they're ever in the market, when someone is ever in the market,
that's the first person
you're going to think about. I've had many times to where I've sold a customer and I've had friends that work at other dealerships and they're like, how did they not buy from me? How did they go to you? Well, they never see you. How is that person ever going to think about you if they never see you? I don't care if they went to school with you. And that's what people expect. You know, Andy always talks about like realtors and, you know, the realtor friend that he had. And you can attest that to anything. Like you can have friends that are, you know, in a business, they're doing insurance, you know, but they're never in your face. They're never texting you.
Out of sight, out of mind.
So who are you out of sight, out of mind? You like, who are you going to go to? You're going to go to whoever stays in your face, and being able to stay in people's face pace consistently is, one of those other things that just completely help. But I think transforming your mindset would be the number one thing that I would say that
You always start there with anything.
with
That's
anything.
it's anything. If it's selling cars, doing construction, doing anything.
Absolutely.
Yeah, even if you want to better your life, even if you want to do a 9 to 5 job,
Yeah.
that's the only thing you got to do.
Absolutely.
That's what you have to start off with. Because again, at the end of the day, it's only you,
Yeah.
and then that's how you would better yourself in anything, in any aspect.
And I love that. It doesn't have to even be sales. One of the things, like the beautiful part about it, is that a lot of these things are just life, or how to be happy in life and how to achieve your goals in life. Everybody should have goals. Everybody should have aspirations. Everybody should have these big dreams, and those big dreams require big action. That is just the truth. You can't expect to have all these things and not be willing to put the work in. And that's what most people want nowadays. And that is people's number one mistake. People were talking about the economy. Dude, we had the best year we've ever had in the middle of an election year where everybody else was literally like, all our friends that do sales, they all had the worst years. Pretty much. All the ones that I know, my store is dead. This is not working. My management sucks. This, that.
Again,
that.
it just goes back to blaming everybody else, everything else.
Yeah, you're blaming it on everything else, and at the end of the day, you're not even improving yourself. You're not even doing anything for yourself. So, the mindset thing is the biggest thing, is to be able to self-correct, to be able to, have that and do the work that's going to require to achieve these things. Most people, they'll look at you. They want the same car. They want the house. They want this. But, well, I can't do videos because of this. Well, I can't spend those hours because of this. I mean, it pisses me off, the people that say that they can't do something because of time or because of their kids. That is such a bad excuse. If you use your kids as an excuse, oh my goodness. In some special circumstances, let's say that, your kids have special needs and stuff like that, and you really truly need to be there for certain occasions, certain times, appointments, etc. That's understandable. But for most people's cases, you use your kids as an excuse on, I can't lose weight because I have a newborn child at home. Like, what does that have to do with anything?
You should be using them as an excuse to do these things.
Absolutely. You should be using them. Absolutely, you should be using, but you can't spend more time doing this. You can't spend more time. So you say you can't spend more time at work, but the 6 hours that you spend at work, you're literally doing nothing. You're doing nothing at work. But I can't do more than what I'm doing. So you're using these excuses that literally are going to end up where they're going to end up leading you nowhere. And that's the whole thing, is you're going to be stuck in this, whether it's 9 to 5 or not, but you're going to be stuck in that 9 to 5 circle to where you're finding an endless loop.
Oh, why isn't this working? Why am I just going in, nothing's happening, and then just going back home? And then
you're spending more time complaining and not changing your mindset than what it's going to take in order to do so. And that's what I think is going to be one of the biggest things. And one of the biggest things that we want to continue, both of us want to continue improving on. We still have those days. I think everybody does. If we sit here and say like, "Oh, I never have," that's such a lie. I had one of those days today. Like to where the weather was gloomy, it was snowing outside, and you're just kind of like, what's going on here? And but again, being able to self-correct, being able to change that mindset is really what, at least for me, I know changed the game. And for a lot of people, it's going to change the game is believing in yourself and betting on yourself. I'm one of those guys where like I can truly, like, after I did what I did this year, I'm betting on myself. I know that the things that I want are going to happen, and it's just a matter of time now before it happens. And that's a really big, like, good feeling that as a person you can have on the inside, is like knowing like this is going to happen. I know what I need to do. Let's do it.
Yep.
And that's what I want to do this year. That's the biggest thing. Yeah, for sure. Well, I think that wraps up the mindset episode for sure. I hope everybody enjoyed that. You haven't like realized it by now, buy the mindset course from Andy Elliott. We're not sponsored by him, but that truly changed our mind. And if not, get a book, get something that you can start believing in yourself, because I can attest to that. Sergio can attest to that is truly a game changer.
That absolutely changed our year. Absolutely. So hopefully that only results in this year being better than last year.
That's what we're shooting for. We're shooting for another 65% increase or more, right?
Yep, absolutely.
Let's do it.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Thank you for tuning in. check out the next episode. Next episode is going to be on social media and branding, something that we've been able to learn over the past couple of months. We're getting pretty good at it, I would say. Maybe, I don't know. Some people would say not, but I feel like we're getting good at it. And I just kind of want to share some tips, tricks, and what we've been doing to really transform and what I think that would do for anybody's business. I think the social media is super powerful and it can really change everybody's business in general. So stay tuned for that episode. I hope you have a great one.